Welcome to Mojo and the Bro. This is finally episode 10, so I guess we've made it through 10 episodes now.
Yep.
We're on with Mike and Jameis, and we're just
No guest yet. Yeah. It's a little hard to find a guest.
We're still
So.
trying to figure out exactly where in my apartment that we're gonna do the podcast. Because I have
like in person, not just Zoom calling.
Yeah.
You have limited
so right
space,
now,
and so do I.
Limited space, and my whole setup is designed in mind for just like kind of being at my computer and doing these Zoom calls. So we're working through things, trying to figure things out. We're trying to get more consistent about it, but then again, it's summer and we have pretty busy schedules.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I'm not necessarily busy, but like I'm traveling a lot and stuff like that. So
yeah, Jameis is working, but Jameis also travels a lot throughout the summer.
Yeah.
Like just seeing family on it because you have a lot of
family
all around. And then for me, I'm not necessarily traveling a lot. I have two jobs now, so I work for the university still, but I also work for Shipped, and then I'm still doing an internship over at our church. So keep him busy. On top of a podcast, so it's interesting. I also got a haircut as well. Jameis, his hair is growing. Well, we saw your head shaved.
You saw me bald.
There's at least hair on your head now. Like we can see it. So.
And I've been working on like my beard, trying to figure out what I like there. Now I'm rocking the just the stash.
Just the porn stash.
So this is not gonna stay like this for very long because I don't like it. But I'm working on growing the bottom back again. So I'm thinking maybe I just shave it and like keep it shaved for a while, see if that improves the growth.
We got to work on our dad bods for the summer, man.
Yo.
It's happening.
I don't have to work on that. I already got that.
Yep. I'm already down.
Actually,
check. Let's go.
I need to go lose a little bit of weight to get back in the dad bod realm. Now I'm just fat. That's so what I wanted to talk about this week is just like how throughout people's lives, like the people around you kind of change. And I was thinking about this deep thought in on my car ride. I went up north for some family things last weekend.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, so when I was younger, me and my cousin always said, like, we were so close, we're born on the same day, we're always like, yeah, we're definitely gonna be the best man in each other's wedding, basically. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That was what, we were probably 8 years old when we
right, third grade or so.
Yeah, so we were pretty young. But you develop and grow and get new friends, and like me and him are still close. My ear itches. Me and him are still really close. But like at this point in time, I don't think I would have him as my best man at my wedding. And I mean,
so much has happened, right? Yeah.
Like at this point in time, I have different friends. I have different, and at the moment, I'd probably have you, Mike, if I were to get married like tomorrow. But in 10 years from now, how am I going to know?
Like, how's that going to?
Yeah. So
that's so true. Yeah. And it's kind of scary because it's like, I know nothing's ever constant here, at least here on earth. Like, obviously the only constant thing's God, but like besides God, like, yeah, life is always changing, man. And it's like, I mean, I grew up having like my main best friend. And I mean, we were basically born, just our families already knew each other. We were basically born friends anyway, from the get-go is what I'm trying to come across here. And so we hung out all the time as kids, even like, it was up to like middle school. And after that, I was just like, I didn't really want to hang out with him anymore. Nothing. It wasn't mainly against him. It was mainly just the other people he was hanging around. I didn't really want to be a part of that. And so I was like, okay, we're going our separate ways and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I could have chose like for him, like him and I were both really active in sports. So for him, it was football, and for me, it was soccer, and that was great. And we loved it, and so we bonded over that a lot. But then once I started pursuing music, especially in high school, pursuing music more over than sports, is when we started to draw that line where like we don't really have as much in common anymore, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking because me and my cousin, like obviously, like I said, we were born on the same day. We've always
Mm.
been really close, and we've always been very similar personalities up
Oh, okay.
until like we got older, and like your personalities start to grow apart, and we're two completely different people now. So
Right.
so that's a big change, you know. And so like I said, we're still really close. I'm fairly similar in a lot of ways to him, but yeah, like we're not. He's not my best friend anymore. He's my cousin still. You know
Mm.
that's
Right. Yeah.
his role in my life. And at the time when I was younger, he was like my best friend and my cousin, and we just kind of grew up.
Right. Yeah.
And so, um,
And sometimes distance can do that too,
yeah.
right? Of
Well,
course.
and it
But
was interesting because we've always had distance because I lived in Texas, he lived in Michigan.
gotcha.
Um, but it seems like in some ways me moving closer is still feels like I'm farther away because I don't go up there as often as I used
Mm.
to. Like I used to go up there for sure twice a year, and now,
That you're in Michigan, it's like
yeah, it's a
it's
shorter
not as
drive.
special, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a shorter drive, and I'm not really making. I don't make that journey very often. And
Mm.
or at least when I do, it's shorter times. Like when I went up there before, it was most of the summer or all of winter break, and now it's just like, oh, I'm going up for a weekend, you know, and
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
what we get. And so
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, we all have other responsibilities as we grow up too. So sometimes that can do it. But I know, like for me, in my case, it was usually distance that
mhm,
separated me from like all my other friends. Um, at least when I was younger. Now, I think if I were distant from others, if anything, I feel like I'd be closer. And the reason for that is because it kind of makes it more special in a way, you know,
mhm.
if that makes sense. Actually seeing that person, actually talking to that person. Um,
Yeah, and
so,
I'm him, my cousin, just like me. We're both very personable people, very social, very talkative in person, and
mhm.
we both absolutely hate phones. Like we just don't like to talk on the phone. We don't like to text. We don't like to. It's just not in our personality. We're in person people. You know.
Right, yeah.
Say that
You'd
10
rather
times fast.
prefer
You know.
face to face,
Yeah.
person people.
Mhm. And I don't know. I don't see a way. And not like it's a bad thing. Like I said, people change. People like it. Um, you meet new people. People leave your life. Obviously, family doesn't typically leave your life. So, hopefully not. That I guess
Yeah,
it
that's
does
true.
happen, but I don't know. My thought was basically that like it's interesting how the change happens, and it's always happening, and you never really know who's going to be in your life 10, 15 years from now. And even if they are still in your life, you don't know how much, you know.
Right, and I think with that, it's like those questions where it's like, where do you see yourself in this amount of time? It's like it's stupid because there's so much that can change and that
Yeah.
can alter um like what sort of life is going to fabricate before itself, you know. And there's just too many variables, you know, to really um depict which way your life is going to go.
Hmm.
And it can change in over time, and it can also just change in moment's notice. um like I have some friends that like they might have broken some kind of like bone or something, or had some really catastrophic event occur in their life, and so once they healed through that process, they were like, man, I need to, like, my calling is to help other people go through that same sort of feeling that I went through when they go through that same kind of trauma.
Mhm.
Um, and all because of just one event that happened in their life. And that's just something you can't really predict.
Yeah, no, I
So,
suppose it happens a lot of times. Like, um, it's not as extreme for me, but like when I started college, let's say, I
mhm.
had my whole life was like, I want to be a mechanical engineer. I want to be a mechanical engineer. Like
You got it planned out,
that was
yeah.
my dream. That was what I always wanted to do. And I came to college and I took my first intro to engineering class, and it was 3 section. It was engineering technology, it was electrical engineering, and it was mechanical engineering. I
Wow.
absolutely despised the mechanical engineering section. it was it was the least it was the most boring like month of my college career was that
Mhm.
section of mechanical engineering. And I guess there have been more boring classes, but at least they're different, and not what I'm planning on
Right,
not what I'm planning on
right,
going
right.
into. And I absolutely loved the electrical engineering section, so that's why I switched over to electrical engineering. And I like, obviously that's not a very big change. So, but for a lot of people, they either go into college not knowing exactly what they want to do, and they're trying to decide like what to major in. And then some people are like, yeah, I'm gonna go to art, and then end up going into engineering or math.
Something else, yeah.
Yeah, typically that probably doesn't happen because most people who go into art probably don't love math. So
Right. It's interesting. I know one person who um had their already went through their career and everything,
mhm,
went to college for it and whatnot. And then again, like a life event happened and they're like, no, I want to be a doctor. Like I
mhm,
want to, and so then they went back to school, went to medical school, got their um degree and one, and now they're a licensed
mhm.
uh doctor. And it's like, oh my gosh, like the dedication
Yeah,
um to feeling, I don't know, so called to do something like that and assist others in that sort of way.
yeah. I
It's
think
awesome. It's inspiring, honestly.
that's similar to my grandma went to school. She originally went to school for, I want to say, psychology or nursing or something like that, or both of those. I
Okay.
have no idea. She's gone to school so many times I don't even know. Um, and later on in life, she got cancer actually, and basically it was I guess a life changing experience. So once she got recovered from it, or maybe during when she was like, I just want to go back to school. She went back to school for art. Um, and eventually she graduated. She had her bachelor's degree in psychology, nursing, or something like some sort of medical. I know she has a nursing degree of some sort. I don't know. She's also got but I'm pretty sure she taught like art therapy or something like that at a community
Oh
college.
wow. Okay.
Um, to be honest, I have no idea. Um, it's just something like along those lines, and she
Right.
taught like an art
And it
class
just
at,
completely
yeah. And but
changed. Yeah.
like, so it's just crazy how things can just change like that, and all of a sudden you're doing something else. Like I
Yeah.
know
Can't predict it.
you know this person too, Mike, but a friend of ours, he was originally went to community college for um to transfer here to go to education,
Hmm.
and wound up graduating recently with an IT degree. Um and like that's not nothing alike,
Yeah.
most teachers
Yeah.
fucking
I,
go.
I was I was going to go into music, and my wake up call was getting rejected from the school of music here at Central. Um, and even though I could have re-auditioned and probably got in because I would have um, been able to put in more hours for practice and work more, um, at least towards that goal. I felt like after living with music majors and realizing like
How stressful.
Man, how stressful it is, and putting schooling to something that you've been self-taught
Mm-hmm.
is really difficult. I already have self-discipline in that sense, at least musically. But then having someone forcing me and telling me like you have to do this, even when um, you're not feeling it, and you have to do it this certain way, and you can't express yourself as much as you would like to. It sucks, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it
So
does.
once I realized that, I was like, okay, well, now I'm just in college to be in college, and at least for me, that was a horrible feeling. Even though I'm not technically paying for my tuition right now, I literally felt like I was wasting, um,
Wasting. Yep.
even the free credits that I was getting. And I'm like, why am I in college? And it was through my job that I realized how much I love, um, like,
Editing and stuff.
yeah, editing and videography, like photography. Actually, it was partly my job, but also in the relationship that I was in at the time, finding that I really loved photography as well. And so getting into that and researching, looking more into it on my own, and just finding like, man, I mean, this is a legit profession I could go into, and it's something I would love to do sometime. And then also, going through Chi Alpha, and just realizing like I definitely want to do something in ministry at least. Um, Kind of led me to that, and then just seeing what like my skills are, what my traits are, and
Mm-hmm.
what I can do to help other people out in the world.
Yeah, and my I'm always constantly back and forth in my own head with
Mhm.
thoughts on what I should do in my own career and path. And like obviously I'm in school right now for electrical engineering, but it's a long, tedious path that's not guaranteed that I'm going to make it through. And
Right,
um like I like to think that I'm pretty intelligent, pretty smart, and I can make it through it. But the truth is, it's difficult and stressful, and I don't even know if
right.
it's going to be worth it. So
Yeah,
um,
at that point, right.
but and then I look at things like I work in the IT department, and I enjoy that all right, but I don't think I would want to do that as a career for the rest of my life. So
Stock nine to five,
that's
right.
not something that I would want to do. Um, yeah, and just going through those process, you never maybe this podcast will take off, and you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
So,
And I think, speaking of our podcast, I think eventually, like, Jameis and I are brainstorming it, and we've been just talking about like, okay, rather than maybe just like talking or giving life lessons, we're just trying to dive in, see
what
what kind of content we want to be putting out. What kind of content are we excited about more than just talking? Because talking's
yeah,
great and whatnot.
yeah, but you run out of things to say sometimes with talking,
Right.
and we've kind of been thinking about like what kind of content will people enjoy listening to as much as we'll enjoy
Talking
putting
about.
out. Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah. And as a right.
one
Yeah.
of
You
the
go. You go.
ideas that came to mind was that we were going to um, do like movies, like watch movies. Me and Mike would watch movies together, and then like talk about that movie and what our experience was during the movie, and I guess like kind of like movie reviews, I guess. But like I don't really want to spoil any movies, so I'm trying to think about how logistically to do that without. But I guess maybe we'll just put a
I th- think at
spoiler
that
warning
point
on
it's like
it. Yeah,
you're just gonna have to, yeah, watch it yourself, and then if you wanna um, talk about it or hear what other people think about it, that's where people could come here
yeah.
and see like, okay,
I'm thinking we'll make sure we put the title of the movie in the title of our podcast, and people can watch that movie on their own before they listen to our video, and then he'll hear what we have to say, or maybe they can listen to it first and then just keep thinking about our thoughts while they're watching the movie.
right, yeah,
Um, some people don't mind having the movie spoiled before they watch it.
right,
So, if you guys want to put any of your input on that in the comments, we read all of the like 2 comments we've ever gotten. So,
Oh yeah, it's pretty easy right now.
yeah. So, I want to say we read all of our comments, but if we have 100,000 comments, I don't know if I can read them all. But at the moment,
Yeah,
we
no.
read all of the comments. So,
Yep.
want to
So
say something? Give
yeah,
us input. Make sure to like and subscribe. You know, that always helps.
share it
Yeah.
too. And yeah, definitely we'll take ideas into consideration and see what you guys want to see, and find something that we as content creators can bring to you guys that we also enjoy. So
Yeah.
it's a two-way
One of
street.
the things that we've figured out is that, like, if we do this movie idea, if we do something similar to that, whether it be movies, music, video games,
Games, whatever.
anything like
Yeah.
that, we can
Media.
have input from the audience on what our next topic can be. So, like, we
Yep.
have people suggesting movies for us. And I'm 100% down with watching the worst movie ever made. You know, something like the, like,
Yeah.
all right, well,
Or the best movie.
I'll
Yeah,
bear
either
through
work.
it. I'll bear through it. If you guys want us to watch it, we'll watch it. You know, and
Yep.
so
Artemis
I
Fowl.
I still maintain that what was that movie called, Mike? When we rented Call of Duty Modern Warfare, what was that? The one that Mills suggested.
Oh,
What was it called?
something Desert Prince.
No, I don't think that.
No, wasn't that?
No,
Something with the Desert Prince.
that was like the content of the movie. What was the name of it?
I forget. Yeah.
I don't know. It was a bad
It was
movie.
that.
Yeah.
It was that forgettable. We couldn't even get through the first like half hour.
We got through like 15 minutes of it and stopped watching.
Yeah, we're like, what
But
the heck
I
is
mean,
going
if
on?
you guys want us to watch that movie, we'll go back and watch that movie. So,
We'll go back and rewatch it.
even though I don't remember what it is.
Good or bad movie, yeah. Or good or bad games, or I don't know. I think good or bad media, even
Yeah.
just list some ideas, whatnot, if y'all have any, and it'd be really cool.
The reason we didn't really want to do video games or music is because there's already so many people that put out content on video games, and already so many people that put out
For that, so it's
reactions to like music and stuff.
Watch their videos.
We kind of wanted to. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a lot of people who talk about movies too, but it's something me and Mike are passionate about, and that was our ideas. But if you guys have any ideas for content you want us to put out, you know,
yeah. So that's that.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that's about it. That's what we really wanted to talk about. So thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Yep. And we're gonna try to be more consistent. So, like I said, if you want to hit that subscribe button, it helps us out, helps you out to hear out what we're putting out there. And, you know,